Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video. Today's video is a little bit more special. It's a little bit different from what I've done before because honestly my content variety right now is Quark SMP and some tutorials, but today is a bit of a different video and I thought I'd share this with you because I like to build. I like to build in my free time and I'm great at camera. Let's just quickly do that. I like to build in my free time and this is one of the things that I built, and today we're going to be discussing some techniques I used, and this is actually a server spawn for a server I did a long time ago. So it's a nice little server spawn, and I'm going to be going through all the things that I used, like bushes in my face. I'm going to be using techniques that I used to build this, and so yeah, let's get started. So I'm going to hop straight into this, and I'm going to go to the very beginning. So when I started out this world, this is really just a normal world around here. And I'll tell you some things that I had problems with and experience and things I wouldn't do later on, but this is where my original spawn was. It was this little area here. And none of that was over there, but yeah, you could spawn and you'd see all this whole area. So I started by making this path, and I like this path right now because it has a lot of depth. You could see some depth, and I also used a lot of different, I almost said gray, brown colored blocks. And that's how paths should be. They should have a lot of, if you want to make them rustic at least, you should have a lot of rubble, and I used a lot of coarse dirt so the dirt doesn't turn into grass. So it looks like somebody's just been walking through this and they've thrown all their birch planks and they've dropped all their wood and their pebbles and stuff. And I like how this looks. It looks amazing. Now over here in this spawn over here, I did a bit of an overhang, and this overhang basically allows it to look like this thing's falling apart. And a lot of blocks that look out of place in most of these builds are really good because they make them look old. Now the whole theme of this was rustic, old, overgrown, as you can see, all of that grass over there. And I used a lot of grass and ferns. And ferns are really good, especially in this biome, because it's a taiga biome. And it's very native to the biome, so it looks nice. Over here, I also used a player head that looks like a mailbox. And that really adds a lot to the look of this, because it looks like as if someone's been living here. And I like how this looks because it's a nice little hole area thing. You have a little bit of a chest, you have a dead bush, so it's like dried up. And it gives a lot of stories. So for example, we could say somebody lived here. They lived here a long time ago because the bush dried out. You'll see a lot of the rubble kicked in. It's a very dirty area. The bed has a nice texture. At least this is the newer Minecraft texture. It has a nice like tattered little texture with the bed like pillow being over there. It's got a crafting bench. You know, for somebody who's been working out here in the fields. And you could say the guy that worked in there worked on the fields and harvested the potatoes and the beetroot and all these things, and it gives it a story. So that's another important thing. Over here is this little bit of I think this was okay, I don't know what this was. Oh yeah, I was collaborating on someone building this on a server, and they decided to make that. So this is just a little bit of another house. Let's say somebody lived here. This could be like their little water storage area. And over here we made a little bit of a seat. Now I don't know why people do these rails, but I've seen it used in so many places, and I don't know what it's supposed to be, but it looks good, and I just used it. Let me just say, I just kind of used it for basically no reason. Over here, it made a little bit of a farm. So this is how, for example, the person that lives in this hut got their wheat. And over here is another mailbox. Now, next time if I would have done this again, I probably wouldn't have put the mailbox here because it doesn't make sense for the mailbox to be behind the house. But yeah, I connected all of these little builds with a path, and this path over here is a little cleaner because it's less used, I guess. Of course, I added some hay bales, and these hay bales make it look a little bit better because you can see a bunch of this wheat here, and then, for example, once they're done collecting the wheat, they just throw it over here. Another thing I did over here, this is when I first started experimenting with changing the mountainside, so I used a lot of coarse dirt, and I thought this terracotta looked, or hardened clay. Yeah, I'm using an old language file, but yeah, these are terracotta blocks, and I used granite as well because these two blocks work very similar. And so another thing this leads into is using a nice color palette is very crucial. So as you can see, these two blocks are very similar, and it's sort of similar to dirt as well. As you can see, I used the terracotta. It looks really nice. The most out of place block here would probably be the granite. It's just a little too pink for my liking, but it turned out good either way. And yeah, I also used these slabs which fit in with the coarse dirt, and I'll get to that area in just a second. That also is very good to talk about. But yeah, a lot of color palettes don't really have very similar blocks. Now, it's okay if there's a little bit of contrast. For example, like you see this grass and there's this coarse dirt. Those have quite a bit of contrast. But for the most part, you have a nice color palette. Your build will turn out nice. So I added some little bit of variation here as well. That's another important factor. So I added some slabs and also variated them with some cobblestone slabs here. And down here I added an Easter egg. So this is going to be used on a server. So it's a server spawn. So this is a little bit of Easter egg. So we can go down over here, and as you can see, this is like somebody dug out a little bit of a area downstairs, and they left all of the iron ore and all the stuff that was on the ground, and they made a bunch of beds. So it's like a little bit of a bunk bed for the workers that were working here. I don't know, I think so. So yeah, Oxo Lobby, that's the server this was going to be hosted on, by me, of course, yes. And I also added my, the guy I collaborated with on the server, their head as well, so it's like a little bit of an Easter egg. And I added multicolored beds. Now, I probably wouldn't have done this if I would have done this again, because I don't like how this, this purple bed and the blue bed, and even this yellow bed, they have a lot of contrast. And they're very bright, and this area is supposed to look dark and dingy, so this green is perfect. It looks like an old navy thing. You got gray, even the orange is a little bit too bright, and then there's, I'd even say the brown isn't the best, but yeah, I'd use a lot of gray and a lot of green if I was building this again. And also, of course, I left some ore in here to make it look like somebody dug it out. They had to throw this together. It was temporary. And leaves, of course, looks like something's breaking in, you know, maybe mold and stuff. Doesn't look, this, you know, dingy place. It just fits with the theme. Holes in the ceiling. Actually, I had some lighting. Yeah, I probably wouldn't have done that again because the lighting looks a little bit out of place. It looks a little too neat. But yeah, dark and dingy place. Nice Easter egg that I added in. So we're gonna go back up and over here. Actually, I'm gonna go back around and I'll show you what this place looks like from the beginning. So yeah, this is the other pathway to go into here. So this was supposed to look like somebody basically broke into the hillside, dug a little bit of an area out. What is this block? It's a mushroom block. Right, okay, so I used mushroom blocks, I guess. I don't know why. But yeah, I used mushroom blocks. I guess maybe like an infestation of fungi, maybe. Yeah, also dark and dingy, as you can see here. So they dug it out. And this leads to a portal for the Anarchy server, because we had an Anarchy part of the server. So yeah, this portal will take them there. And I loved how this looked because it fit the theme of Anarchy. It's very also dark and dingy, and for example, fungi and mushrooms, and it leads into a happier area over there. But this area specifically looks old and cracked stone, so it fits Anarchy very well, and I thought that was really good. And then from this area going up, I had like a little bit of foliage. If I would have done this again, I wouldn't have put all this foliage here because, yeah, that would have looked better. But I'm going to put it back to what it looked like originally because I want to keep it as original as possible. And over here is another pathway I made. Now, I really like how this pathway turned out. So I was experimenting with these grass paths when I was doing this pathway, and I liked what concrete powder looked like as well. This brown concrete powder is amazing. And I also tried out some podzol. So the podzol looked pretty good, and all these blocks mixed together. They have a very similar color scheme, and I also used jungle wood planks because the oak planks I used on the other side, there was a bit of oak planks as you can see over there. These fit it a little bit better with this brown texture, and I think they looked really nice, especially with the mushrooms. So the thing to take away is blending all these colors makes a nice and complete experience, which basically is supposed to tell the story of the place. So make sure whatever you're doing isn't just there because it's there. Make sure it tells the story of the place. Now, I just kind of contradicted myself because these mushrooms, I don't know what they're for. I thought they looked cool. So yeah, I guess I just kind of added some mushrooms in. And yeah, these are custom mushrooms. I don't like to have like non-custom trees and stuff like that. As you can see, that's not a custom tree over there. Actually, it is a custom tree. It's not a default tree, okay? It's a different type of tree, and I'll get to that in a second. But yeah, I created a bunch of custom mushrooms and custom pathways, and this place over there, that is my favorite part of most of this. But I'll show you just in a second. Let's quickly get to this beach, which I promised. By the way, I added some fences to make it look like, you know, you're not supposed to get out of this place, and this beach area. So to mix these two areas in, I added a lot of nice blending. These orange textures that I use blend in seamlessly with this area. If I added a lot of sand and stuff, it looks like one thing is going on to another. For example, if you're going on a beach and the side of the beach interacts with the black top, there's gonna be a bunch of sand all over the place, and it's kind of supposed to blend in, and it does. Now, I kind of messed up over here. I would have added more blending in this area over here, but I don't think I actually finished this. But yeah, it looks a little choppy. See, this ends here, and this doesn't look choppy. This looks amazing. So blending a lot of stuff in is really good. And yeah, this is technically an unfinished spawn, and I was still working on it at the time. But yeah, this is a beach, and I wanted to tell the story that people were here, and they were sunbathing, and there's a little bit of an umbrella. And I used a cool trick here. If you want to make like a nice umbrella, you can have string, and then on top of that, you can place anything. So the string can be floating anywhere, and it's a really cool trick. So yeah, string is amazing to use in these type of scenarios. I also added a nice cactus. I don't know why I added a cactus. A cactus just, I thought, looked cool, so whatever. And then I added some more foliage to blend in with the fact that, like, for example, this got blown off the trees. And this looks rather weird. Oh, I think I know why this happened. Okay, so we had a little bit of an issue with leaf decay, so I guess some of the leaves decayed from this tree. So yeah, it looks a little bit weird, but this tree should have looked like that one. And then this is a jungle tree, so it's a different type of leaves. See, that one's oak, this one is jungle. And the reason I did that is I thought it would be like interacting with another biome, but I was gonna do like interact this with the jungle biome and stuff, but that didn't turn it out well. So yeah, don't try to use different leaves, because obviously it wouldn't make sense. So you can get a sneak peek of that. That's pretty good. But yeah, it wouldn't make sense if you had like oak leaves and then jungle leaves right next to them, because it's a different biome. But yeah, also I added some going into the water, so they got blown into the water. And if I would have finished this up, I would have added some surfboards and things on this side here to make it look a little bit better. Look at those water reflections, they're pretty good. And yeah, and another thing I did was I blended off this area with a little bit like this red sand beach with this little normal beach. And I love how this block palette turned out. So I used sand, sandstone, sandstone brick, and birch planks. Now this color palette was absolutely amazing. Let's go to a better place. Yeah, this color palette turned out absolutely amazing. I love how this turned out, because all of these blocks are so similar, and they add so much texture and different colors, and they look good. So yeah, I worked a lot on basically mixing these in, and I actually used World Edit to do it for me. And if I would have done it myself, I would have made it look better, because World Edit, look at this. 3 stripes, 3 stripes, 3 stripes, all with the same block. So yeah, if you would have done this by yourself, it would have been a lot more random. And I would have even had some going into the water, for example, like here. I know how I said I was going to keep this as original as possible, but yeah, and it looks very choppy, because look at this area. It's like just going down. So yeah, that's that. I would have probably fixed that. And let's go into the next area to talk about a little bit more of what I did. So over here is an amazing wall. This is one of my favorite walls I've built in a very long time. This took me a lot of time, but this is a very good demonstration for depth and variation in your build. So what I did is I used a lot of slabs. I used cobblestone fences. I used stairs. I used andesite. I used coarse dirt. I used cobblestone and a lot of different things to mix them all in, even stone. Stone looks really good. And I mixed them in, put a lot of foliage in it, and so much depth over here. There's so much depth. Like, look at this. Just this one side of the wall. Depth, 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 depth. I can't stress enough how much depth you need to make a build look good. It's amazing if you have a lot of depth. And over here, I added some foliage to make it look like it's a dark and dingy little cave. Dingy is my favorite word of the day, I guess. But yeah, dark and dingy little cave with a lot of depth and fallen leaves and stuff. And I love how it looks. And then I continued a simple path. I wanted to make the path different, and I didn't really finish this one up, but I used jungle and oak, which 2 of those blend together. One of them obviously blends in better. The oak was a lot better with this golden path, as a better golden color. But yeah, anyways, as we make our way up, we continue to see our foliage, and this little cave area is a continuation. It's got a button to add some more depth into here, and I'm quickly going to fly out of this. You're not supposed to see that. I'll explain what's over there in just a second. And as you can see, this is another area. This is another part of depth and a lot of block variation. I tried to vary the blocks as much as I could in this area, so I added a lot of grass paths, terracotta, basically everything I already showed you. I mixed into one wall, this whole wall, and I honestly think it looks great. It looks like the grass has taken over the rocky, stony side of the wall, and it's amazing. But yeah, we're gonna go up this area, and we're gonna go up, and we added some lanterns as well to make it have a nice glow during the night. And we go up here, and here we go. We're greeted by a house. Now, I got this design from System Z. Totally probably ripped it off from him, but I loved this design of his house. It's amazing. It has these nice curves, and it gives us so much depth. But before we do that, here's a mailbox, obviously a house. And I made a little bit of a nice viewing area, so like somebody could sit here. Again, with these rails, I don't know what they're for. But yeah, you can see over this whole area. And then we'll go over here behind the house. that System Z built. I love how this looks. I also put some chests under the beds. This is something I found in Keralis' channel. Very amazing. Beds, of course, fit the color scheme. We go up, second top area here. Didn't really know what to put, so I put a chest, which is trapped for some reason. But yeah, this area is amazing. We got a nice computer and stuff. Love this house, by the way, System Z. You're amazing. Okay. And then I made a little bit of a fireplace. Now, this fireplace is using wither skeleton skulls. I do not remember where I found this, but it's a really nice design. So these are armor stands under the ground, and they're surrounding a block of netherrack with fire on it. And this gives it a very nice appearance. It looks like there's stones around a fire pit, which is amazing. And I don't know why this isn't here. I'll fix that quickly. But yeah, this was a similar design for the chair. And again, I created the same exact sides of these hills as I did before. This side wasn't finished, and as you can see, this area would have been the same as the wall on the other side. But yeah, I didn't get to finish this because the server shut down, unfortunately. But let's continue on, and we'll continue. Also, I made these lampposts. I love how this looks because the hopper mixed with the fence makes a perfect connection. Even though it's a different color, it's amazing, and I love how it looks. Okay, that's a little bit triggering me. We'll go down here, okay, and we're going to continue touring this place, and over here I made a bit of a river area. So I wanted to have it look like a bridge just broke down in the middle, and I actually continued the bridge down over here. Now, I can't really see it, but yeah, the bridge is actually underneath there. So I added a lot of detail because I wanted it to look like this bridge just fell down. It just fell down. And I love how it looks, and you can actually parkour over this. It's pretty satisfying. But yeah, and then I had an area planned over here. I was gonna go into a cave, like connect that to a cave and have a nice cave area. But of course, I didn't finish that. A little bit of fishies. I'll show you that in a second when I get to the other side. But this side is pretty much done. I added some sugar canes and stuff to make it look like there's growing stuff. And I also expanded this tree to make it look like it's not a vanilla tree. And I had it go down so it looks like it's overgrown. And this is a nice little thing that I found on Good Times with Scars channel. Man, he has this amazing build that I saw, and a lot of this was inspired from his build. I don't remember what it's called. It was some insane build. But yeah, I saw this. I think it's a different design slightly, but I love how it looks. And he did an amazing job. It's like a little arch overway, and it's like a few logs over there. It's amazing. Yeah, it's a me, Mario. That's what it sounded like. Okay, we're going to go back over here. And I'm going to go explain over here. So I was going to make a nice little golden area here. And I'm like, okay, what blocks can we add that are also golden? So I added some sunflowers in. And they're a really nice golden color. And actually more yellowish. But yeah, they blend in very well with this area. And then I wanted to make it look like somebody actually worked here. So I added a tractor. Why not? Farm for life. I also found this on Keralis' channel, and then I added the optional extension off the back, and it looks amazing. It's like somebody's been farming it, and what I did to make it look like these have already been like harvested is put a lot less wheat around this area. And the hay bales are over here. Farm for life. Gotta be consistent with your builds, but yeah, also use these. And I wanted to make it look like this area had a lot of activity. So I added a mining area in, and this right here was also inspired by System Z. In his Let's Play, he had a bit of like a gold block connected to, basically it was a mining drill. And I wanted to replicate that somewhat, and because I love the idea, and I created this little area. So it doesn't go too far, but it looks like there's a gold mine over there. So let's just say like people have been mining the gold, and they left the gold blocks down there, and then it's been lifted up by this crane. So it's more of a crane and not a drill, but it looks like a drill, whatever. So yeah, then I added a miner in, which I thought would be cool. I added a pickaxe in, so it's like he's going back up from downstairs. I added some barriers in so nobody can go down here, but we'll go down here, and as you can see, really nice area. We added some gold to make it look like, you know, there's a gold rush going on, gold mine, yeah. Same thing, I guess. Let's get up out of there. And then we're gonna talk about this. So this is a nice little area of gold, and I added some carpets on top. Oh, okay. I added some carpets on top to add some more variation, so that's really nice. And this is really cool, but I'll show you in a second. So I also added a nice miner's home, because you gotta think about every single detail. Like, the miners are gonna be there, but they're not gonna be working there the whole day. So I added a nice little area for the miners to live. Of course, there's more gold. A chest that presumably would have had more gold. And yeah, miners are pretty rich. They got a lot of gold. So we have like a bit of a gold shaving on the ground, I guess that would be. Little crafting table to craft up their gold blocks. Place to sleep. That's pretty much it. And they have a really tattered house, which is weird because they have a bunch of gold in it. They could like literally cover the whole house, gold plate it. But yeah, a little bit of lighting in the ground. Some discreet lighting. Pretty nice. Looks like there's light coming out of this area. I guess, yeah, there's one torch and a bit of lighting there. But yeah, really nice area. And this door would be kept closed because it's, like, closed. And there's foliage going on the inside because it's dark and dingy once again. And man, oh man, was this a hard thing to do. But it was amazing. This is an armor stand that's holding an axe. And it looks like the axe got stuck in an anvil. And I just love this detail. This is probably one of my favorite things that I've done in this world. But yeah, more gold shavings, anvil. I got this little bit of a hill, which has some foliage on it. And I'll show you that in a second. That's probably my worst decision in this world, but yeah. Okay, let's get down. So yeah, more hay bales. Just a lot of farming going on. Reeds over here. And we'll go across this bridge. So this is a System Z inspired bridge again. A lot of this was inspired from System Z, Good Times with Scar, Keralis, a lot of stuff like that. I love watching building videos because they give me a lot of inspiration to do this kind of stuff. And yeah, I was really inspired when I built the server spawn. But anyway, we're gonna go across. So it's like the rubble has gone on top of the stony little bridge, and yeah, it looks pretty nice, but it's a little bit overgrown. This right here was all my own creation. I wanted to make it look like there was some groundwater leaking into a pond. So I added a bunch of little cobblestone fences and a lot of depth and stuff, and I thought it looked pretty cool. This was the inspiration for the wall that I did over there in that area. Okay, so we're gonna go over here as I promised. And another one of these chairs. I have no idea what these rails are, as I said, but I don't know. They look okay. Yeah, we have a little bit of a depth wall over here. I used a lot of cobblestone fences. This is one of the first times that I experimented with these, and cobblestone walls. I've been calling in the wrong thing this whole time. But yeah, they're pretty nice. And then over here is a little bit of a boat port. So it was supposed to look like people could put their boats in their driveway. And again, cobblestone fences. Looks pretty nice. And I wanted to make it look like this bridge. Pond over there on the other side of the bridge was leaking into here. And I'm like, okay, so how can I make this look more lively? So I added a fish, or two fish. So yeah, these are like salmon fish. They're nice player heads. I don't know. They look okay. They're a little bit creepy, if I do say so myself. Keep pressing this button. But yeah, if I would have done this again, I probably would have added a boat or two, some more fish. But I don't remember why I couldn't do that. Maybe it's because they were despawning. But yeah, anyways, we're going to go back up. We're going to go up this pathway similar to the ones that I've showed you before. A little bit of depth with a button. And we'll go up here, more buttons, and another mailbox, because this is the area that somebody would presumably live in. So yeah, we had a little bit of a player head here. Looks like this player head kind of vanished. Yeah, but it was some guy's player head. And yeah, we had like a little bit of a nice storage area, some area to sleep, similar to what we've done before, cauldron, an anvil to repair your tools. But yeah, looks like it was maybe like a leather worker, I guess you could say. Yeah, and that's about it for this area. Now let me talk about my worst decision for this. So you see these trees here. I think these trees look pretty nice, right? I think they look nice, but, and this was actually built with System Z tutorial. Jeez, I just realized how much System Z stuff I used in this video. But yeah, regardless of that, we have nice trees. And these trees are, well, I mean, as you can see, there's 3 of them in a row. It doesn't look good. These trees are big, so preferably these trees should be placed like one here, one there, and they should be varied. Now the problem I had with this is they're literally the same exact tree. I mean, like, I just rotated it, but same exact tree. Speaking of which, this has these full bark blocks. Pretty nice. They're completely bark blocks. 1.13 is gonna have those by default, so it's gonna be pretty good. But yeah, yeah, I wouldn't have placed 3 of these in a row. I probably would have placed a lot of smaller trees. And I also tried building another smaller tree over here, which I don't actually think it looks that bad. It's just a little bit flat. I'm not good at building trees, so yeah, I gotta learn that, but that's something I can get better at. But I think that's pretty much it for this world, guys. This was the first server spawn official, well, maybe not the first server spawn, but the first server spawn of this kind that I built. This was probably my most gigantic build so far, so this took me like I don't know, man, a month, 2 months. So it was a really long build, but I used a lot of stone and stuff like that. Oh geez, camera angles though. But yeah, a lot of stone, a lot of areas were using stone, and I think it looks pretty nice. And I made a lot of use of blocks, and I got a lot of tips and tricks from a lot of different creators. But anyways, guys, I hope you learned something from this video, got some inspiration, because I was really inspired when I built this, and I just want to share what I've done with you guys, because I am starting to get more into building, and it's kind of one of my favorite things so far. But anyways, guys, once again, hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm out. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. This leaf block's in the way. Hey, you can't see me.